What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Jordan the Supreme, and I'm back with another video. And today we have a new concept on the channel. It's how DC broke Red Hood, wasted potential. And I may agree with this. I may have to combat this. We're gonna see what this video is talking about. Y'all come in. Y'all drop some comments. Y'all let me know what y'all think as the video goes on. Let's get it.
Jason Todd, the second Robin reborn as the Red Hood, is a character with whom I've had a pretty complicated relationship with as a reader. It's safe to say that by now I've read pretty much all of his pre-crisis, post-crisis, New 52, and current continuity appearances. Second only to Nightwing, Jason's the member of the Bat family that I try the hardest to both understand and as well keep up with.
First off, there's nothing hard to understand. My boy got hoed multiple times through votes, through comics, through movies. The Joker did that man the worst way. His parents did him the worst way. His mother did him the worst way. His dad did him the worst way. He just got ultimately hoed. You, Benny from the comic historian, are the only ones I know whose favorite hero is Red Hood. Red Hood is bro, that's not a unique pool. Red Hood is that guy.
This being in spite of the fact that, since his return to life in Judd Winnick's Under the Red Hood story arc, expertly adapted into the renowned animated feature,
My favorite
I and
Batman
many others
movie.
have grown increasingly frustrated with Jason's progression, or lack thereof, as a character. This video will be less so about the debatably aimless direction of his literal adventures, bouncing from magic to man on the run or Dark Trinity member. Rather,
Look at, bro, hold on. First off, look at all the fits he got. Hold on. Peep the fits. Right?
The fact that, since his return to life in Judd Winnick's Under the Red Hood story arc, expertly...
This one's calm. This was calm. This is not even the full outfit, right? He got the gray turtleneck, the black pants, and the boots. I mean, this is calm. You feel me? It's calm. But
animated feature, I and many others have grown increased...
Fire. Leather jacket. Hood. 2 guns. Pow, pow. Boom.
Frustrated with Jason's progression, or lack thereof, as a character. This video...
Fire. Look at the fit. It already screams. It's aura already. That, you feel me? Like, you cannot say he don't put that on, you know?
Will be less so about the debatably aimless direction of his literal adventures, bouncing from magic to man on the run or dark...
And look at the stance. This is tough right here too. Look at that stance. You can't tell me that's not a tough cover photo. That's something you put on the poster. If I'm Red Hood, that's gonna be on my wall somewhere. Come on now.
Dark Trinity member. Rather, I'll be attempting
and then Arkham Knight.
Repetitive and non-committal history with the Batman and the Bat family, his morality, and equally intangible character arc. To do so, however, we'll have to trace Jason Todd's story all the way back to the beginning.
Okay, talk to me then.
Being created in 1983 before the universe rebooting events of Crisis on Infinite Earths, Jason was initially a carbon copy of Dick Grayson, son of acrobats murdered by a criminal, this time the newly invented Killer Croc, taken in by Bruce as a crime-fighting ward. This primordial version of Jason Todd would face various trials, having to earn the mantle of Robin from the first holder of the title, Grayson himself starting his path toward forging a new identity. The second Robin's arc would consist of grappling with the legacy of his predecessor, inheriting the burden of the First Boy Wonder's villains as an example. Even as early as this, at least at a meta-contextual level, Jason was set up for failure. With his...
And I will say that, obviously, making a copy-paste of the original Robin, he's not gonna be the favorite, but obviously... Bro, I personally don't think that the people that didn't like him had a valid reason to not like him. I personally think so. Obviously, like, he was really aggressive. That's cool. But we know why. It makes sense. He's been through a lot.
Trait being his having to live up to Grayson's example, while at the same time being an unapologetic derivative of said template.
And Dick Grayson was that's a hard path to follow, to be honest. That's a hard path to match.
Seeing the inevitable issues this may cause at a creative level, the writers of the time took the opportunity given by the epic 1985 reboot, crafting a new and unique origin for Jason Todd. Now orphaned by his drug addict stepmother and criminal father, the wayward youth would be brought into the fold by Batman, hoping to harness the rage and pain of the young boy into tools for justice. In post-crisis, early on, one would still be hard-pressed to draw much distinction from the two Robins, forcing writers to lean on Jason's darker traits. This culminated in the pages of Batman 424. In the issue, a woman in an abusive relationship sees no way out, with her abuser walking free due to his position as the son of a powerful diplomat, leading Jason to assault the man on a fire escape with the monster falling, or perhaps being pushed.
His anger was justified, man.
Brand of boy wonder, feeling as though he'd be written too dissimilarly to the original, bratty, rebellious, and apparently bloodthirsty. Thus, editorial put it to a vote, with Jason being executed in the death in the family story arc.
I want to talk about this. I heard the votes were rigged. Let's see. Votes were rigged. Let's see. In the 1988 DC Comics storyline, A Death in the Family, fans were invited to decide whether the character of Jason Todd, the second Robin, would live or die at the hands of the Joker via a telephone poll. The poll received 10,614 votes, with 5,343 voting for Jason's death and 5,271 voting for his survival. However, the fairness of the poll and the legitimacy of the results were called into question. There were rumors and anecdotal evidence suggesting that some votes were cast unfairly. Right? Notably, it was rumored that a single individual programmed a computer to repeatedly dial the number designated for voting to take Jason Todd off the map, potentially skewing the results. Like, if that's not some hater shit, like, what makes you hate a comic character that bad? Like, dang, bro, like, he been through pain and trials and tribulations, and you want to vote him to get off the map? Whoever did that, you're wrong. You're a sick human being. I'm saying it. I don't care. I'm saying it. You're a sick human being. Yep. I said it. Yep. I don't even know if he's still alive, but if he is, you're sick.
The mother from the Joker. This, however, is all simple preamble. Where Jason's story and overall character arc become really interesting is in his life after death.
This is what turned him into a dog, though.
In the wake of Superboy Prime's reality-altering punch, Jason would rise from his grave, being found and rejuvenated by Talia al Ghul and her Lazarus Pit. With additional training and having experienced the trauma of his own death, Jason would become the Red Hood, reinterpreting the identity initially held by his own killer. Todd would return to Gotham, not to kill Batman, but to force him into avenging him, to take the Joker's life, to break his one rule. After a murder spree attempting to usurp the powers that be as the ruler of Gotham's underworld, Red Hood and Batman find themselves locked in a gut-punching exchange. Batman explains that, while he often fantasized his taking of Joker's life, he tells Jason that if he were to ever kill, he could never stop. Jason just does not.
And, in a way, I kind of get where Batman's coming from. But Jason was not wrong here. Even in the Arkham games, everything that's happened to Jason has been justified. His actions have been justified. He's not a villain. He's an anti-hero. And he's considered an anti-hero only because this isn't a Red Hood comic book. This is a Batman comic book. To be fair, bro, the things he does is not that bad. Yeah, he may pop somebody, boom, boom, boom. He may actually, like, take somebody's life. But if you look at the record, most of them were legitimately evil. So it makes sense why he's doing it. Like, they're legitimately villains. You feel me? For the most part, like he's not doing anything that's not justifiable, man. I'm gonna keep saying it. It's justified everything he's doing. And with Batman, I don't want to hear that. If I'm Jason, I don't want to hear that, bro. You have the strongest mental capabilities of all time. You've been through so many things, so many trials, so many tribulations. You've had some similar. Goodness gracious, you had some similar hard times that Jason did. But you talking about if I were to take Joker off the map, I wouldn't be able to like return from it? Yes, you would. If you can't, who will? Yes, I'm doing a Goku quote. Yep, I just did. There's no way. I don't see him, bro. That's just cap, bro. That's just cap. For you to be the smartest, the most mentally strongest, there's no way. There's no way. You've broken from Brainiac's mind control. You've broken from so many things. You've overcome so many things. But now, okay, if I take somebody's life, I'll never come back from it. That's cap. That's cap, man.
Understand. If he can pick and choose who deserves to die, why can't Bruce? Regardless, the father and son are separated in an explosion, seemingly adding Red Hood to Batman's expansive
Gamer, what?
gallery. Given his second chance, Jason wouldn't just stop at complicating Bruce Wayne's life. He'd show up in New York at a time when Nightwing called the city his home, offering his predecessor partnership, all the while murdering any criminal he comes across. If Batman couldn't be convinced, maybe Grayson could be. After all, as Todd points out, Nightwing recently allowed the villain Blockbuster to be killed, not far off from Jason's own approach in his opinion. Disgusted, Grayson clashes with his younger brother, eventually siding with him against a common foe. With this story's conclusion seeing Jason extend an olive branch, a written letter expressing his desire to always remain a family. Next, and very interestingly, we find Red Hood undergoing a multiversal adventure, meeting a version of Bruce Wayne who seemed to fulfill Jason's desires. After his Jason was killed, this Batman systematically took out his villains, even those belonging to other heroes' rogues galleries. You'd think Jason would be elated by this, yet he sees the damage this has done to Bruce, referring to this version of his mentor as heartless. Despite this, the two would team up to tackle the crisis facing this world, with Jason watching as this version of Batman is killed. Just then, a version of Joker from another dimension shows up to mock the
All these
death of his
dimensions,
bitter
man.
rival, with Todd surely cathartically crushing his head with a rock. After this, surely Jason would undergo massive change and growth. Not only did he witness firsthand the downside of a Batman that kills, proving that his goals in Under the Red Hood were misguided, but he also managed to finally get a kind of revenge on the man who took his own life. But nah. Bruce's apparent death in Final Crisis leads him to again go to war on all criminals, attempting to murder Damian Wayne, Tim Drake, and the guy he recently asked to always see him as a brother.
Sheesh.
This apparently being a result of Wayne's posthumous message to Jason, apologizing for all the harm he caused him, asking him to come back into the fold, and offering psychiatric assistance. Jason just takes all of this first-hand experience and kindness, and instead reverts right back to where he was after he came back to life. In my mind, this is where the problem really started, but we're nowhere near over. After his loss to Nightwing in Battle for the Cowl, Red Hood would re-emerge, now trying to use social media to galvanize the public against Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne's approach to crime fighting, still pursuing deadly means in his war on crime. Grant Morrison and artist Philip Tan do something really interesting here, using the same context and even art evoking the Killing Joke, with Grayson's Batman again offering Todd a chance to come back to the Bat family, all mirroring the end of said Alan Moore story. Jason admits that he knows it's too late for that despite all his efforts, the world simply broke Todd beyond repair. This is the same thesis ultimately applied to the Joker and his relationship to the Dark Knight, with Morrison setting up Jason as the Joker to Grayson's Batman. This status quo could have
Man,
really
that's
worked,
crazy.
in my opinion. The proposition at the center of Killing Joke is that Batman and Joker are inextricably connected via their one bad day, each suffering great tragedy, only to be pushed into opposing paths.
Two
This
parallels.
idea, to me, is even stronger when embodied in the two Robins, forged by the same man, informed by many of the same experiences, with the trauma endured by one simply pushing him too far. Keep this brief characterization of Red Hood, this glimmer of hope, in the back of your mind until the end of the video. From here on out in post-crisis, things would actually look bright for Jason, who would team up with Grayson and Damian, agreeing not to kill, further fighting alongside the return-to-life Bruce Wayne, with each of them promising to leave the past behind them and forge a stronger future. This
What's
future,
up, RJ?
unfortunately, being the New 52. In this time, Jason begrudgingly fights alongside the Bat Fam, swearing not to take lives during the durations of their various team-ups. His own solo adventures withstanding, with Jason even being invited into Batman Incorporated. After the death of the family saw everyone attacked by the Joker, despite being on rocky terms, Jason and Bruce hug it out and seem closer than ever. It appears that the gap between Todd and Wayne has closed. However, after the death of Damian Wayne at the hands of his evil clone, Bruce would manipulate Jason into returning to the site of his death, hoping to trigger any memories of his resurrection to be used in bringing Damian back. This would dispel any goodwill garnered thus far, with the two trading blows and Red Hood leaving his devastated dad alone in the desert. Despite this, Jason again joins the Bat family in rescuing Batman from Apocalypse, aka Darkseid's domain. Pretty ride or die move if you ask me for the guy who just got disenfranchised. Then Bruce, now an amnesiac.
You know what? Hold on, bro. I don't like how he throwing slick jabs. I don't like it. He throwing a little slick jab here and there. Like, all right, bro. Like, disclosing information. Keep it cool, man. Come on.
Hugs it out with Jason,
Keep
happy
it
that
cool.
Wayne is finally free of the burden of Batman. After regaining his memories, Batman entrusts Red Hood with infiltrating Black
Like, he
Mass
throwing a lot of jabs out there,
under the
Ricky.
condition that he not kill anyone. However, Jason learns that his dad, who's still alive now, was forced to take the fall for the Penguin back in the day, essentially robbing Todd of a proper upbringing. This leads Jason to shooting Cobblepot in the face, breaking Batman's rule. The two fight.
Oh, man. Marvel all day. Wait, so, like, what's your take on this right here, then? Like, what do you say they're doing wrong? Because are you agreeing with him? Or do you think he's wrong in a way?
Originally beating his former protege,
Let me see.
decreeing that the Red Hood is done for. Jason's then saved by Bizarro, his friend at the time. By the way, Jason never tried to kill the Penguin. He shot him with a blank on purpose just to sort of shake up Gotham's underworld. So take that for what it's worth.
See that? Like, he ain't even take him off the map. Shot a blank at him, had him shook. That's all. Man, look. With all the things that he's been through, his actions don't be that bad.
Another interesting and
it don't.
Status quo. He's not.
I'm a stand by it.
Bruce eventually telling him as much. He has to carve his own path until Jason comes back to Gotham. He just can't help himself but try to bring down Penguin's operations. Batman, of course, shows up to try to stop this. Fortunately for the Ward, though, he points out that the Dark Knight arresting Jason Todd would draw too much suspicion to Bruce Wayne, causing.
Hold on. Okay, but he made that promise to Batman not to. If it was up to him, they would have been off the map, SP. What are you talking about? That's crazy to say. That's a crazy statement. I think they should have let Red Hood be that Punisher type of character. In a way, he kind of is. But he does have some restrictions. Obviously, because Batman, his dad, is looking over him. Oh damn, it's F Batman. Oh damn, it's F Batman and Superman for Ricky. Damn. Punisher said, "You wanna take my family off the map? Okay, say hello to my little friend." Facts, that's facts. Punisher don't play. But honestly, I mean, Red Hood is the DC version of the Punisher in a way with restrictions. He has a stepdad that could whoop him anytime he wants to, really. To be honest. So he's kind of restricted because of that.
Batman to begrudgingly leave Jason to his own devices. He then logically, yet incorrectly, pegs Red Hood as the leader of Leviathan, an organization responsible for crippling the intelligence agencies around the world. A chase ensues, with Jason giving everyone the slip. Around here is where we would get Three Jokers, however, that book is a part of DC's Black Label and has been outright referred to as out of continuity, and therefore not a part
Damn.
of Jason Todd's canonical history. I don't want to see any comments about Three Jokers. Despite being wrongfully pinned as Leviathan by Batman, Jason still comes to his aid in Joker's war against Gotham's heroes. After that, still trying his best not to kill in Gotham, Jason, in a moment of weakness, shoots a criminal, leaving a boy without a family. Effectively, Todd's created another him. Batman and Jason, of course, fight over this, with Red Hood breaking down over the situation. After exposure to the opposite of Scarecrow's fear gas, a hallucinogen forcing one to experience their deepest desires, we see that Jason most wants to retire his use of firearms and to be embraced fully by the ones he loves. Batman, in
Dang,
turn,
man.
wishes he could bring himself to kill the Joker, removing the very thing which has wedged a gap between himself and Jason. These 6 issues, to me, have done the most to push Red Hood's character into a satisfying direction since Morrison's handling of him. He still thinks there are criminals that don't deserve to live, but it won't be by the means of a gun, what took the lives of Bruce's parents. Once again, it seems like the two are heading for a path of redemption. Guess what happens next? In a modified batsuit, Jason begins using a crowbar in lieu of firearms, teaming up with Nightwing, who immediately trusts that it wasn't the real Jason, who seemingly committed a murder. The two defeat Clayface, brothers in arms. With
That's
Red
so
Hood
dope.
later
That's
committing
so,
a murder.
bro.
The two
Mind you, like, even though I got Red Hood as my favorite Robin, Nightwing is literally right there. Obviously, I know Nightwing is the better Robin. Obviously, like, he's the best Robin, and who's ever to take the mantle, which we've seen it already. Nightwing should take it whenever Batman is off the map. Then we got Terry, but you know.
defeat Clayface, brothers in arms. With Red Hood later working to fight alongside zombified versions of Batman villains, hoping to do some good and steer them into a better direction. Which is what the
Yeah,
book
Nightwing
wants
is
us
that
to
guy.
believe is true for Jason as well. A villain seeking redemption, up until Bruce thinks Jason is in dangerous territory. The two fight, with Jason ranting about how Gotham's his city too, and how he's just trying to do some good. Batman again leaves him to his own devices until Todd decides to steal from the Batcave. In contrast to the team up they just had, Grayson does not trust Jason and they all have a big fight. Two back-to-back.
You see that, bro? Like,
Grayson does not trust Jason and they all
look at this, bro. Like, he looks like the castaway. Castaway. We are castaways. Hello there. We are castaways. Like, you got all 3 of them hitting him with a sweet chin music to the gut. What's good, Gorge? You not too late. You're not too late, man. But it's just so unfortunate, bro. Like, even when he tried to do good, there's always misconceptions, and now he's fighting with his family again, man.
all have a big fight. Two back-to-back contradicting narratives arbitrarily generated just so DC can send Jason back into murky waters. Managing to slip away, Jason eventually fakes his death to finally kill the Joker, only waiting to do so now for some reason as opposed to immediately, using guns again and his old suit, completely ignoring everything he narratively and emotionally gained in urban legends. Red Hood parades around Gotham and is currently hunting the Clown Prince while the
Ew.
Joker copycat is also in the mix. In events set after this, inexplicably, Jason is allowed to eat dinner with the Bat family in Wayne Manor, despite all the times Batman said Red Hood wasn't even allowed in Gotham, or the fact that Batman wanted him brought to justice just prior. Now Batman is off the deep end, fighting the entire Bat fam sans Damian, with future promises to change Red Hood forever. I've heard it all before, and I'll believe it when I see it. This is pretty much the gist of Jason's arc over the years, and I hope my cause for frustration now seems justified. To me, the greatest glimmers of hope were when the writers made any kind of attempt to commit the character to one thing or another, either as an outright villain, too damaged to be redeemed, as was the intention behind his resurrection in the first place, or as someone who could return to the light and eventually forego the killing. The long and short of it is, Jason is simply too damn popular for his own good. His appearances in film, as well as in Arkham Knight for example, have cemented him alongside the most iconic fixtures in Gotham. However, the story is always the same. There's a reason that Under the Red Hood keeps getting mined for inspiration pretty much whenever Jason shows up in another medium.
Cause it's so peak, man. Like that whole story was very tough. The adaptation, the animated movie, you can't miss with it. But my thing is, bro, like he really did come back from a 3-1. They took him off the map. They revived him, and he got all that motion off his revival. And you're mad because you said he's too popular for his own good? What?
Because not since then has the character been driven by such a defined and definitive purpose. Will he learn that a Batman who kills isn't a good man at all? No. Will he be the rival, the other side of the coin to Dick Grayson? Nope. Will he instead be a trusted ally to his brothers and sisters? Not really. Will he be an outlaw, removed from Gotham and Batman's authority over morality? No.
Nah.
Will he ever?
You also got to remember, man, he went through the Lazarus pit. Like, Lazarus pit really puts your mind through something. It damages your brain. Everybody knows that. Once you go in the Lazarus pit, you're not coming back fully the same. You're going to be a little more cracked, even though you've been recovered. Just like as many times as you fix the teacup, right? You break the teacup, you fix it, you see cracks in it. You break it again, there's more cracks in it, but you fix it, but you see more cracks in it. It's just like that. So his mind is all over the place, and mind you, he didn't really have a childhood, especially with the retcon. He didn't have a childhood. He had a hard life. Parents was cooked. Dad wasn't. Man, what? It was a mess, bro. So he's been through a lot. And granted, he's a genius. Physically peak, all that. But yeah, he's been through a lot.
Stop using guns. Not gonna happen. Well, no and yes. He's all of these things and none of them at the same time. It's a lot like Loki in the MCU. He was created to be a villain, sympathetic for sure, but a genocidal monster nonetheless. But it's that sympathy and likability offered by the performance that allowed the character to be redeemed. This is because you can't have a madman actually be any kind of main character for very long. If Loki was acting like he was in the first Avengers movie during Thor Ragnarok, he would just be imprisoned or beat up immediately, or would just become the villain of the movie. He simply couldn't be that evil and be on the board for very long and it also make sense and be satisfying. Neither Loki or Jason Todd would be sustainable if they never grew beyond their initial purpose, unless they went all in making him Nightwing's Joker or something. Unlike Loki, Jason's been unfortunately pigeonholed by his own success. If Jason really learned, if he was ever truly redeemed in the eyes of the Bat family, the intrinsic draw and identifiable qualities separating him from his predecessor would be lost. If he wasn't a killer or a gunman, if all he did was beat criminals with blunt instruments while cracking irreverent jokes, he'd be back to being just a Dick Grayson clone. He can't afford to learn from his mistakes, fulfill his own dreams, because that's not what made Under the Red Hood compelling, and it's not what made the Arkham Knight the center of edgy TikTok edits either. At the same time, however, despite the various attempts throughout the years, Jason can't be allowed to regress into being an indiscriminate villain either.
Don't get me wrong. I get his take. I'm understanding what he's trying to say. Like, it's not that I don't get what he's saying, but I think we're being a little too hypercritical. And obviously, like, I know he's doing this for a video, so obviously this is a good video. Like, we're already we got 4 minutes left. This is a good video. It's a great video. We'll talk about it after. What y'all think?
When taken to its logical conclusion, Red Hood would just immediately kill the Joker. But he can't do that because that character stars in the most profitable R-rated movie of all time. DC isn't going to just stop putting Joker in their books for the sake of giving Jason a sensible character arc.
which is
Red Hood can't
unfortunate.
just be the Punisher. We can't do that either because putting him on the cover of team-up books prints more money. If his arc was more consistent, there'd be zero justification for any Robin, Batgirl, or Batman to ever trust or work alongside Jason at all. It gets even worse considering that between every one of these realizations, Jason just murders criminals left and right. It's not like he has to do this to survive these situations, he's just going out of his way to do so. Why is he not in Arkham? Bruce Wayne's childhood best friend has taken less lives and is sent to prison every time. Why is Tim Drake, as an example, even associating with Red Hood at all? He murders people all the time and doesn't feel bad about it. Many people view Jason as an extension of a power fantasy, that being the desire to see Batman rid the world of the monsters he instead cages over and over. That's probably what people think until they actually read Red Hood comics. He faked killing Penguin. He waited 20 years of comics to even try to kill the Joker, while for some reason taking out random goons. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like in the Snyderverse, if Batman's killing just random warehouse fodder that probably have like family in the hospital and they're desperate or something, then why is the Joker still alive? To hopefully make my point even more, let's look at a couple of other members of the Bat family. Grayson, raised in Batman's shadow, sought to carve his own path as a hero, becoming a great leader and combatant in his own right. His evolution is apparent, literally becoming Batman to prove he's just as capable of a hero. His story is one of self-discovery, forging yourself through fire, while still having the heart to smile. Barbara Gordon was, just like Jason, scarred by personal tragedy, instead using it to forge an even more powerful persona as Oracle, now applying her unequaled intellect to assist every corner of the DC universe. Even her becoming Batgirl again, while a less inspiring role than Oracle in my opinion, her surpassing her physical limitation in order to walk again at least presents a clear and identifiable theme. As for Jason, what's the theme? He's a Frank Castle wannabe, he learns his mistake, Joker, wants to be embraced by his loved ones, only to inexplicably instantly fall back into his old ways, fight his family, commits himself into being a fully fledged villain, does another 180, earns Batman's trust, they break up, they hug, they break up, Jason doesn't kill, then he does, then gives up guns, then uses them again, tries to kill Joker, fights his family again, breaks up with Batman over and over and over and over. Are we supposed to believe he's psychotic? That's kind of where we're at with how consistently...
But no, bro, come on, let's not do that, bro. We can't put the blame on him for everything. We can't do that. Come on, man. Because Batman has been in the wrong as well, too. Let's be honest.
Where we're at with how consistently inconsistent his portrayal has been. To advance the character, Red Hood would either lose his individual and inherent purpose, becoming an interchangeable Gotham City crime fighter, or he'd need to live up to his initial design, actually take out the supervillains, show the heroes that they're half measures if that's what he believes, but it won't happen. Red Hood is absolutely a victim of his own success, and the success of other more popular characters, only managing to narratively scrape by through various false starts and broken promises. It's almost poignant that way, like maybe he's just supposed to be some guy stuck between his hopes and his urges. That's wishful thinking, I fear. In reality, he's an outlaw without a cause, a Batman villain allowed at sleepovers, until the day when DC commits to making Red Hood either the villain, the fallen son of the Batman, which he was designed to be, or a hero who made his way back from the darkness, crawling out of the grave and into a better tomorrow. I'll be here, just watching history repeat like I'm goddamn Dr. Manhattan.
Damn. Damn. He kind of, I ain't gonna lie, he kind of fried with that last part. He kind of fried. But my thing is, bro, that's what, where he's at right now is what's keeping him going. And obviously, you can kind of see you don't know where to put him. Because, yeah, he can't get his revenge fully. In some comics he might, but fully he can't get his revenge because we're talking about the Joker here. With Batman, is there an echo? Echo. Anybody hear it? Echo? This was a great video, broke it down nicely. He did. That was a good breakdown, honestly. Anybody hear an echo? Gamer, come on, gang. Like, GG's. It's cool though. It's cool. I'm gonna end up editing this out if I got to. If y'all still see this on the YouTube, everything's good. Don't worry. But yeah, man. But in terms of like him being cool with Batman, bro, it's just I feel like because Batman already has this narrative that he is out to put people off the map, he's not having full trust in Jason. It's always gonna be a constant battle because now like he has to prove that he's not gonna take people off the map. Um, but for Batman, bro, I feel like he can read body language well. This is the smartest, or one of the smartest characters in all of DC. So I'm pretty sure he can tell when Jason is lying and when he's not lying. Especially since he raised them. So like that constant, oh okay, we break up, we make up, we break up, we make up type of thing. I feel like that should be kind of eliminated soon. Now, how they're gonna go about it to make Red Hood like an actual like successful character, like to actually like bring out his potential in a way. What do y'all think? Y'all let me know. Obviously, people on the YouTube, make sure to drop your comments of what you think. How y'all feel about this video? Do you think Red Hood has wasted potential? Do you think his potential was there? Do you think that it's only one thing he needs to do to fix his potential? Do you think that there's a lot of things that he has to fix? Y'all let me know. Y'all make sure to drop it down in the comments. Let me see what SP said. Need better writers. Honestly, they actually like the character and want to see him succeed outside the Bat family and outside persona. Gamer said, you notice Jason Todd and Shadow the Hedgehog are the same persona. He needs a fresh start with a new purpose or really stick to what he believes, like dude said. I think Captain America was he needs his own city to operate him and stop putting him on teams and in Batman stories. But I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say take him out of Batman stories. That's literally his son, man. That'd be crazy to do, especially if it's regarding the Bat family. He has to be in there. I want him to be in the family, but obviously he can be that. He can be like, who can I compare him to? You know what? I'll just say it like this. He makes his appearance. He shows up. He helps the Bat family, and he goes about his way. Especially if it's regarding the family. Nah, let him do his own thing like Nightwing. But Nightwing comes back too. That's cool. Yeah, let him do his thing like Nightwing. But when it's regarding the Bat family, he's gonna come back and help. Which, I mean, that's perfectly fine. I want him to stay an anti-hero. More so, mainly, I want him to stay on the good side because I think, like, he's not a bad person anyways. Like, obviously, he takes people off the map. But, like I've said plenty of times, I know I sound repetitive. It's been justified. I think Nightwing comes back too much, too. But, why not? Why wouldn't he come back? You know? Like, I don't see why he wouldn't. It's definitely like an interesting thought. Like, what will we see in the future? Will we see another Red Hood project? Will we see Red Hood finally cemented and using all his potential in comics, movies, TV shows, whatever the case may be, man? And to this day, Injustice, when you come back, matter of fact, Injustice, if they ever bring it back, not Injustice, but Young Justice, I'm tripping. Young Justice. Whenever you come back, if you ever do, please, I know y'all remember, Jason Todd is in there. Please, and I mean please, utilize Jason Todd to the best of your ability and make him popular again. If there's ever a possibility Young Justice comes back, which I wish they would. I don't know why. I forgot what happened. And why they're on such a long break. Why is Young Justice canceled? Bro, what, Gorge? Come on, man. Due to a combination of factors, toy sales and licensing agreements. You know what, man? Toy sales have been the end of a lot of TV shows too. Like, I don't even know. I think I have an Aqualad figure. Young Justice toys. I even got a game. I got the game. But did they even have a lot of Young Justice toys? I'm gonna be honest, they didn't really like showcase them a lot from what I remember. Toy sales are very important. Exactly, like there's a lot of TV shows that have been ended because of toy sales, which just doesn't make sense to me. Connor Kent and Young Justice was a perfect Superboy. Nice input. Nice take. I like that take. I was trying to remember the name of the show the other day. Hey, look. It's imbued in here, man. Young Justice should have been back. I don't know why it's not, but it should have been back. The endless cycle of DC's Red Hood. Oh my gosh. So we got another one. Hero to villain. Oh my. So it seems like everybody's talking about it. This was a year ago. This was 2 months ago.
Of all the members in Batman's Bat family, there is none with a more complicated past and history than
Let's see something real
Jason
quick.
Todd.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Thomas.
I'm Merlin.
Together we're the Comic Lads, and today we're talking about the problem with Red Hood.
Red Hood, we know that he's a fan favorite.
We understand that he is a fan favorite and how much
I'm
love
scared,
he
bro.
has. And I think me and you do have
They about to say the same thing. I'm scared.
measure of love for Jason Todd.
For sure. I mean, I don't hate Jason Todd by any means. I'm more just so frustrated with the fact that DC Comics, DC Editorial, seems to be in the cycle of abuse with Jason Todd. We're going to be getting
they do him dirty. I agree.
into it, the history of Jason Todd, why we have our qualms with his development throughout the years.
Yeah.
But before we get into it, question of the week, how do you feel about Jason Todd?
Yeah,
What are your thoughts
it's
on
like,
it?
you
Yeah.
know,
Y'all make sure to drop that in the comments as well. In the comments as well. What's your thoughts on Jason Todd's development?
you can reconcile brutal, murderous characters like Damian and make him a fan favorite. You can do it with Jason, man. It's just, I can tell that they don't want to. And I'm kind of sick of it.
I'm sick of it.
Let us know what you think in the comments down below.
Hold on, I want to hear their summary of this.
Or to violence and shooting each other in the face.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, Bruce, I'm gonna shoot you. And Bruce is like, I'll fucking shoot you too. And you're like, what am I reading?
Yeah, it kind of character assassinates both of them in one fucking page. It's ridiculous.
And like, listen, I totally get that, like, I don't think Jason and Bruce will ever agree on the Joker. And I think
Nah, never.
because he's so deeply affected Jason and like his whole ideology and his upbringing and everything. But to write Jason as like supposedly working with Hush, tell me you haven't read a single book about Jason since Under the Red Hood without telling me.
For me, it's kind of a disgusting story point too that they always paint Jason Todd as one of Batman's sons, but they're constantly just beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
And it's like, I understand, you know, it's a comic book, there's gotta be action in there, but sometimes I'm just like, guys, can we just like sit down and talk about this?
Yeah, can I not watch Batman backhand his son
Yeah,
in every single...
Man, I say this is one thing. Jason Todd really contradicts Batman a lot. Every time they interact, Batman is in his biggest contradictions of all. Every time they interact, every time they have a rebuttal, like a disagreement, you see Batman contradicting himself. I promise you, every time.
Little interaction they have with each other.
For me, it's gross. Like
It is gross.
a father and a son, a parent and a child would never do this to one another. They wouldn't automatically first response resort to violence and shooting each other in the face.
Yeah, Jason's greeting to Bruce is like a gun to the back of his head, and I'm like, no man, they were literally just shaking hands like 3 months ago in the comics. What are you doing?
Why are you shooting your son in the face?
Heck, you just not pick up the gun and shoot him.
You see how he picked up the gun? Shooting at him too? Is that not wild?
And so it's actually, this video started out as like a rant about Red Hood, but
you see Batman pick up a gun, or no, matter of fact, you don't usually see it. You see him scared to pick up the gun, but he want to pick up the gun against Red Hood, Jason Todd. Like, what?
Batman's as much of a victim to the writers as Jason is in these stories.
He looks crazy.
You just said it perfectly. They are both victims of DC editorial, not letting them mend their relationship. And it's like, listen, man, like, I know we want comics to be cyclical and never ending, but can we at least have them reconcile? It's not going to ruin continuity and make us feel like Batman's old if they just are cool forever.
I agree. You can still have Jason as the kind of bad boy anti-hero of the Bat family.
Yeah.
Sure, but just constantly hitting them against each other as enemies, and then within an arc or two later, giving each other pats on the back and saying how much like their relationship means to one another. It's just, it's frustrating as a viewer / reader of this material.
I totally agree, and it's like, you know, if you can reconcile brutal, murderous characters like Damian and make him a fan favorite, you can do it with Jason, man. It's just, I can tell that they don't want to. And I'm kind of sick of it.
I'm sick of it.
Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Are you happy with where Jason is currently in the DC universe and as part of the Bat family? Let us know.
If you enjoyed the video,
Okay. This sounds like it was a good video, but I'm already knowing it was saying the same thing the last video was. Now with that question, regarding that question, I'm happy with Jason's status. Because obviously, people know about the Red Hood. A lot of people like the Red Hood. Now, when it comes to his direction, no. Because, like they're saying, it's like an endless cycle between villain, hero, your makeup, your breakup. If only they could find a way to fix him. And I want somebody, a true comic hero, a comic writer hero, to fix Jason as soon as possible, because I don't like these conversations about him, man. No direction at all. Need new writers. That's it. See that I don't like this Red Hood slander, man. I don't appreciate it, man. But yeah, like I said, y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate y'all for watching the video. All love to y'all. Peace.